All right, let's go ahead and move on to still air quoting the tough questions that the media is now coming around trying to ask.
I have always looked at Hamas as Nazis. They're terrorists. Have you always looked at Hamas as Nazis?
Unfortunately, yes, and it was demonstrated October 7 what they do.
Yeah, so you always have. Have most of the Israeli people always looked upon Hamas as Nazis?
Well, you know, some of the people in Israel, because we seek peace, thought maybe one day they will prefer peace than war. October 7.
What about Benjamin Netanyahu? What about him? Has he always looked upon Hamas as Nazis?
Well, you're talking about Qatar or Hamas?
Hamas.
I think that everyone understands that Hamas's charter is to destroy Israel. And by the way, not only Israel.
So you've always known this. I mean, yeah, we know the charter.
Yes.
So let me ask you this question, and I can't get an answer, and maybe we're just not covering it in the press. Maybe you can help me out. Why did Benjamin Netanyahu send the head of Mossad to Doha 3 weeks before the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust and told Qatar to continue funding Hamas?
I think, if anything, October 7 shattered that concept. And it's my understanding.
But you just said you always knew they were Nazis. I always knew they were Nazis. I would never give. We were always angry that Qatar funded Hezbollah and Hamas. I want to know, why did Benjamin Netanyahu do that? Let me ask you this. Why did Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump know in 2018 the sources of Hamas's illicit funding, and they still did nothing? They wanted that money to get to Hamas. I'd like to know why, because we don't know in America. Have there been any investigations in Israel at this point?
I'm sure we'll investigate it, and I totally agree with you. That Qatar is a wolf in sheep's clothes, and they're buying their way in.
No. I must correct you. Benjamin Netanyahu was asked by the leaders of Qatar, do you want us, Qatar, to give money to Hamas? This was in September. And Netanyahu's representative said, yes, of course. You're feeding that wolf, and you're telling that wolf to feed the Nazis in Gaza. So explain to me, because I really want to know, why was Benjamin Netanyahu and his government funding? They were allies with Qatar in the funding of Hamas. Why?
I think it's a mistake, and it was uncovered October 7th. October 7th demonstrated that if you think you could buy quiet, peace, by funding Hamas, it's a huge mistake. And it's clear to me right now.
Why did Benjamin Netanyahu, knowing that their charter said that they were to kill Jews and eradicate Israel, why would any leader of Israel work to fund that organization to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars and work with Qatar to fund Hamas?
I think that question should be asked, and we'll get an answer. We'll ask.
It's been asked. When are we going to get the answer? Fine. We've been asking it for 6 months. When are we going to get the answer?
At the end of the day, once we finish the war, all these challenges will rise, and we'll deal with them. Right now, we're focused on winning the war.
First of all, before you say anything, Alan, I just want to make one thing perfectly clear. You are a liar if you think you actually was asking that question for the past 6 months. No, you haven't.
No, Morning Joe wasn't, but the Biden administration was asking those questions the whole time.
Yeah.
These questions have been being asked. That's the only reason it's made it to the media now, is because the Biden administration has greenlit the news to talk about it. So, no, these conversations have been going on. It's just you got a devil trying to talk about another devil, talking about another devil that they created. It's like a devil frat party, and can't nobody say who brought the beer.
That's an excellent thing. That is an excellent way. That basically, here is my point. Yes, these questions have been asked not on mainstream media and not where a lot of Americans are getting their rhetoric, but they have been asked on a lot of different podcasts. A lot of, if you go towards anybody who is a scholar in the area, if you just have any interest in wanting to follow current events. But yes, why has our media made a big change? And it's because just last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, Biden started talking about this publicly as well. Of course, our media gets the whole green light. And yes, this is connected to Biden sees his numbers trailing. It's connected to so many different things. Like we often say, we'd love for people to ask, why are we being given certain narratives and why now?